وهو يهدي السبيل. الحمد لله خلق فسوى وقدر فهدى وأخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما لينذر بأسا شديدا من لدنه ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا. الحمد لله وكفى، وصلاة وسلاما على عباده الذين اصطفى، لا سيما على عبده المصطفى وآله وصحبه المستكملين الشرفا. اللهم إنا نشهدك أننا نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت وأن محمدا عبدك ورسولك. اللهم فأحينا عليها وأمتنا عليها وتوفنا عليها يوم الدين واحشرنا عليها يوم الدين يا رب العالمين. أما بعد أيها الأحباب, after praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and testifying that there is no God worthy of worship except Him alone subhanahu wa ta'ala, being the testimony of faith that we live by and we accept and we have faith in, and after sending the best of peace and blessings to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in, we jump quickly inshallah to the topic, and we hope Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us benefit from everything that we hear and give us the best of action to what pleases Him. Allahumma ameen. Today inshallah in a few minutes I'm going to talk about a very important topic that is needed for the success and development of any community, of any society. And this is at-tatawwu' or volunteering. Why volunteering? What is volunteering in the first place? This is based on some articles by Dr. Ahmad Saqr and others. Volunteering is, in its conceptual form, includes the individual or collective form of willing individual known as volunteers to act in ways which work towards the betterment of oneself, other individuals, communities, society, and the world. So this is something that begins with your own will to do something good for yourself, for your community, and for the entire world. This is something that will not happen unless you feel that you need to improve and your community needs to develop and the world needs your help. So it all begins with your willingness to do so. Volunteering means commitment. Sometimes we misunderstand it. Volunteering meaning, I can put whatever effort at any time, at any quality, and it should be accepted and it should be, appreciated. No, it's commitment. You commit yourself to do good. We, being Muslims, part of our Islam is to volunteer. And when we volunteer, when we do something, when we go out of track to help others, to work for the betterment of others of our society, وَمَنْ تَطَوَّعَ خَيْرًا فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ شَاكِرٌ عَلِيمٌ. Whoever volunteers, do something extra, good, Allah indeed is shakir. Allah is appreciative, grateful. How does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shakir? He will give you the reward for anything extra good that you do. Alim. And He is fully aware of what you're doing, the intention behind doing it. You're doing it for yourself, for fame, to be known, or you're doing it for His sake. Allah will appreciate it, and Allah knows the intention behind it, and He knows how much goodness is in it. It is very much significant. It carries very much significance in Islam to do good and to do extra. As we all are aware of the hadith, the first hadith in Sahih Muslim, Al-Islam wal-Iman wal-Ihsan. You become Muslim, there is Islam, and you become mu'min, faithful or believing. Don't block the sisters, brother. If you can move to this side, Jazakallah khair, please. So there is Islam, you become Muslim, and then Al-Iman, higher level of faith, and then Al-Ihsan is to start spreading this goodness. Ihsan, to do good to others. How many times we read Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying in the Quran, عَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, those who do good, and many times He mentioned it with faith in Allah. Faith in Allah. In the hadith of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, one beautiful hadith, he said that al-iman bid'un wa sab'una shu'ba. Faith involves 70 some branches or titles or headlines of good things. أعلاها لا إله إلا الله. The highest of all the branches of Islam or faith is to say لا إله إلا الله. The testimony of faith, the كلمة الإسلام. أدناها إماطة الأذى عن الطريق. And one of the lowest levels, it's still part of faith, is to at least remove a harmful item from the way. It is part of what, Ya Rasulullah? It's part of faith, of your iman. because you believe in Allah that you would love good for others. And those who do better for others, they will be dearer to Allah. أحب الخلق إلى الله أنفعهم لعياله كما عند الطبراني وغيره. The dearest of the people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Him are those who are most beneficial to others. Volunteering is not only part of our faith, it's part of our entity being American citizens. According to some statistics of the Bureau of Labor, from September 2014 to September 2015, 62.5 million Americans have volunteered in various ways, various organizations. That is 25.2% of the total population of the United States, which means 1/4 of the population and citizens of this society has put in this last year somehow, some effort, some time towards volunteering to do things. That is part of this culture, of this land that we live on. So we need to be part of that, and it's before that part of our faith, part of our Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in many ayat and ahadith, and the Prophet says in ahadith, highlighting this fact, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى. Help one another, all of you, وَأَوْ الْجَمَاعَةِ, all of you, تَعَاوَنُوا جَمِيعًا. Help one another, cooperate, coordinate on what? عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى, in righteousness and piety. وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ, and never cooperate or help one another in sin or udwan, aggression. وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ, so many forms of doing good. Could be individual, like feeding others. Could be even part of a collective work. Either way is good. We need to work in all directions. We see individual people doing goodness, like Al-Khudba in Surah Al-Kahf. He will go out of his track to build jidar, a wall. Why? Because that's kind of help for some helpless people. Two young people who cannot do it, he will go out of his track along with another prophet. Al-Khudr disagree whether he's a prophet or not, but he got the help of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. Two of them are volunteering. Let me put it this way. Volunteering to do it. And even Sayyidina Musa was saying, why would you do it to some people who probably do not deserve it? They did not even offer us anything when we requested for some food or hospitality. Why would we do that? But end of the day, both of them ended up volunteering to do it. Just read on half page or a page after that, you will see one of the greatest kings of earth, Dhul Qarnayn, one of the righteous people. He will go to the east, Matli' al-Shams, all the way to the east, the farthest east of land. And he will go Maghrib al-Shams, all the way to the farthest west. Doing what? Helping people. It's not like offering something, whatever is remaining from my time, if I have half an hour here or something. No. He will go, travel, and take an army and build a Sadd, Radman, which is a high wall between two mountains to help some people who were suffering because of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, those two tribes who were frequently attacking them in a very brutal way, and he helped them. They even offered him, we can give you money to do it. He said, no, أَعِنُونِي بِقُوَّةٍ. All I need from you is let's work together. You got to help me with your power, and we will work together. So this is there in the Quran, and we read it. Generally, Allah said, وَافْعَلُوا الْخَيْرِ. Allah Azza wa Jalla gave the commandment, do goodness, لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ, that you may prosper, that you may succeed. You will not succeed unless you do good. And some would say that true success is not what you achieve for yourself, because that's going to go with you. The true success is what you achieve for others, for the benefit of the greater community, society. What did the Prophet ﷺ achieve for himself and his family? Probably nothing. Nothing. Many times he doesn't have food to eat in his house. He passed away ﷺ with almost nothing to leave behind as far as finances. But he is now being followed by billions of people, and his religion and what he built and what he invested in has reached everywhere, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And such did all the prophets and good people as well. So it really matters. When we go meet with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's not how many hours you spend for yourself, even though it's important. But what really is going to benefit you tremendously, much more than those hours that you spend for yourself, is those hours and those efforts and this money and this help and what have you that you offered for others, that you give to others. When you are in the grave, you will see that. When you are in the day of judgment, you will be closer to Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as far as your place and position. When you offer all of that, you will be أحب الخلق إلى الله, the dearest of all of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to him. عن ابن عمر أن رجلا جاء إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. From Ibn Umar, a man came to the message of Allah, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon him. فقال يا رسول الله أي الناس أحب إلى الله. He said, O Messenger of Allah, who amongst people is dearer to Allah, dearest to Allah? وأي الأعمال أحب إلى الله. And what is amongst all actions is the best in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The Prophet ﷺ said, أحب الناس إلى الله أنفعهم للناس. The dearest to Allah of his people are those who are most beneficial for his people. وأحب الأعمال إلى الله. And the most of all actions, the dearest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what? سرور تدخله على مسلم. Is happiness that you will be a reason it will happen to a Muslim person. أو تكشف عنه كربة. Or you would be a reason, you will relieve him from a distress that happened to him. أو تقضي عنه دينا. Or you will help him financially to relieve him of a debt that he has to pay. أو تطرد عنه جوعا. Or hunger that you take it away from him. ولأن أمشي مع أخي في حاجة أحب إلي من أن أعتكف في هذا المسجد شهرا. And it's, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying, and it's in my view, it's dearer to me. I would rather go with a brother of mine in a necessity of his until he fulfills it, in something that he needs, until I really help him finish it and get it, is better, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is speaking, better for me than making i'tikaf for 1 month in my masjid. The masjid of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam with salah is better than 1,000 salah. It's better to just go for half an hour or something, more or less, better than making i'tikaf for 1 month, just because it is manfa'a muta'addi. You're helping others, and this is dearest to Allah than anything else. ومن كف غضبه ستر الله عورته ومن كظم غيظه ولو شاء أن يمضيه أمضاه ملأ الله عز وجل قلبه أمنا يوم القيامة. ومن مشى مع أخيه في حاجة حتى أثبتها له أثبت الله عز وجل قدمه على الصراط يوم تزل فيه الأقدام. And whoever walks with his brother until he gets his job or business or need or necessity done, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make him walk steadily on a sirat, on the bridge over Jahannam on the day of judgment, which is the final stage before Jannah. If you pass, you make it to Jannah. If you don't pass, no way you can make it to Jannah. Just by helping someone, by volunteering to help someone. What about helping a community, helping a masjid that serves hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people? See, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying you will be so stable walking on as-sirat, passing on as-sirat on that day that many people would easily slip. So it is so many actions of these to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and all of these are, have to do with you helping your Muslim brothers. Your community. This is the smaller community, and then we also believe that we are citizens of the world. Not only of one country, we are citizens of this world. We are beneficial for ourselves, our families, our communities, those who share faith with us, and then a bigger circle of humanity of the world in general. That's what Muslim should be about. Al-Muslimu akhul Muslim, la yadlimuhu wa la. So many hadith. A Muslim for another Muslim is just like a brother. في توادهم وطاعة. How much they love each other, how much they sympathize with one another, how much it's just like a building, and they are just like bricks for one another, supporting one another. That's how should we work volunteering. Hadith from the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, beautiful hadith. كل سلامة من الناس عليه صدقة كل يوم تطلع فيه الشمس. Come on, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you. Nabi said every day, for each joint of yours, each part of your body, each joint, there's dues on that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you that. Obviously, we are في مقام الموعظة ليس على مقام الوجوب وإنما على مقام it's recommended. But Allah has given you that. What would you give in return? That's the meaning of the hadith. Every joint of yours, every single day that sun rises over, you have some dues on that. And then listen what the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that you can pay. What is accepted to pay for all of these blessings in terms of your body, at least, that Allah has given you. قال تعدل بين اثنين صدقة. If you make peace or make justice between two people, this is صدقة. That will work to pay off that. تعين الرجل على دابته فتحمله عليها وترفع عليها متاعه صدقة. If you help somebody who's trying to ride his mount, get in his camel or in the back of his donkey or something, and help him get over that and help him get his stuff, any kind of help. Helping somebody, going out of your track to help, even if it's as little as just stopping to help somebody who's in need of help whatsoever, that will work as dues that you pay. وَالْكَلِمَةُ الطَّيِّبَةُ صَدَقَةٌ. And saying good, one good word is sadaqah, is also a currency that would work towards paying off what you have to pay, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed your body with a new day. وَكُلُّ خُطْوَةٍ تَخْطُوهَا إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ وَتُمِيطُ الْأَذَى عَنِ الطَّرِيقِ صَدَقَةٌ. Every single step that you take to prayer, that also counts as sadaqah. Everything that you remove from your way, see a piece of trash, see something that people trip over, like our shoes for example, hopefully you don't do it in the first place. And another hadith, what if Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam kept suggesting to the man, do that, this, you can pay that, you can do that, you can do this salah. He said, what if I can't do nothing? He said, at least تُمِيطُ, at least تَكُفُّ الْأَذَى عَنِ النَّاسِ صَدَقَةً. At least you stop harming others, and that's going to be sadaqah. Stop harming others by leaving your shoes out there. Just as little example, stop harming others by double parking. Stop harming others, but the list goes long. So if you cannot do anything positive, at least do not go by minus. وَأَمْرُكَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ صَدَقَةٌ وَنَهْيُكَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ صَدَقَةٌ. When you enjoying something good, say good, try to leave something good, a good sadaqah. Stop something bad, talk against it. Say something when you see something wrong. That is also sadaqah, according to the hadith of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In another hadith, وَأَفْرِغْ مِنْ دَلْوِكَ فِي إِنَاءِ الْمُسْتَسْقِي. And if you have extra, he is giving us, it's a metaphor, if you have extra water, like you have your bucket and you have extra water, give that extra, or give from your water to the one who is asking you water, which was very precious at this time, and it's still precious, but it's more precious for the desert people. So what you have extra share with others. In the very community that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed with, all communities, you'll see that Allah blessed you with something. In this very community there is something who sees you, you know your place, and he is suffering, she is suffering. Just yesterday, a sister lost her job and she was calling me and subhanallah, crying in tears. Just imagine if that happens to you. We are humans. If that happens to you, what would be the case? لا قدر الله, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all. Things happen to everybody. Living your country, Iraq, look at Iraq in the 1980s, very successful in terms of economically, you know, and now all of a sudden it's gone. We're not talking politics, but it's gone. You might find yourself a refugee. Look at Syria. It was not as Iraq, but subhanallah, many people, including well-established people in their societies, they end up being refugees somehow, or without any wars or anything. For all of these floods, for all of these catastrophes, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us and our communities and our country from. We are all vulnerable to that. Let's not take it for granted. I am always, and in many ahadith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah might deposit something with you as long as you are helping others. The minute you stop helping others, Allah might take this off from you. So we keep volunteering our time, our effort, our money, and everything that we could volunteer to keep what we have, and also amongst so many other benefits that we will definitely get. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was volunteering. What was he getting, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, for his job being a prophet? Nothing, alayhi salatu wasalam. What about Abu Bakr and Umar and Sahaba al-Kiram? Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, the day he was elected, a Khalifa al-Muslimin, he used to do a lot of community work, including milking the goats, the she-goats, for all aramil al-hayy, for all of those widows and weak women of his neighborhood. And then he was now elected, he gave his speech. He heard one lady saying from those who attended, الآن لا تحلب منائحنا. From now on, we're not going to get anybody to milk our sheep, goats, and get us the milk as usual. He said, by Allah, I'm never going to stop what I have already started before I become Khalifa. And by Allah, I'm not going to let that position change me. It's not because I have the position I become the Khalifa and أتغير خلاص. No. خليفة المسلمين يحلب لأرامل الحي وفقرائه وضعفائه. عمر رضي الله عنه يروى في بعض ما يروى عنه، وعمر أسطورة من أساطير الدنيا، لا أقول أساطير الإسلام. This is a legend, a legend. عمر رضي الله عنه, whoever says a little word about him doesn't really think. When you call a mountain like an ant or something, there's something wrong with your mind if you say that. So Umar radiallahu anhu, just read about his life. What did he do? One day he was as usual. He is the Khalifa also. He was wandering around the Medina, checking on everything, making sure that everything is okay, not blaming his own people that they are suffering like others would do. No, he will go himself. He will go himself, wander around. Somebody is in need for help, he will help him. Somebody, he will physically help him. And that day he found a Bedouin, not even from the Medina. He went all the way to the suburbs of Medina. And this man, khaymatun min sha'r, he got a tent. And he was giving him salam. You okay? You need anything? And all of a sudden he heard some kind of noise in there. Somebody is kind of crying or in pain. He said, what's going on in there? He said, just go about your stuff, about your business, and leave me alone. He said, no, please, tell me. Do you really need help? Anything I can do for you? He said, my wife is in labor right now and she's delivering and I'm just traveling. I don't have anybody to help. Umar radiallahu anhu, all of a sudden he will go, run to his house, back to his house, call his wife, Kulthum bint Ali ibn Abi Talib. His wife, Kulthum, the daughter of Ali ibn Abi Talib, come right now. There's a lady in labor. You need to take what's necessary for that. And he took food, daqiq wa zaytun. He took a lot of food and he asked his wife to take what's necessary and he ran back to this man. The lady was helping, Kulthum was helping the lady in labor, and Umar radiallahu anhu started cooking for the man. He started cooking for the man and helping him and by his side, because a man expecting and his wife is suffering and a lot of crying, he's not in a position to do anything. So Umar, Khalifa al-Muslimin, is doing that. Up until now he doesn't know who is that person who is helping him. All of a sudden the lady inside, Kulthum, she said, Bashir sahibaka ya Amir al-Mu'mineen bi-ghulam. O Amir al-Mu'mineen, commander of believers, give glad tidings to your friend that he got a boy, a baby boy. And the man said, he was like stunned, you got a baby boy, but Amir al-Mu'mineen, is that Umar? Is that Amir, the commander of believers? He was there helping him. And then he said, he finished, make sure everything is done. And he said, if it's, in the morning, just come to my place in there and I will see what I can do for you. He came to him the next morning. From the early time of Islam, those who are in need, they will just go apply, and later on, even without applying, they will get the salary. They will get salary that they will, become citizens of this state. That's the kind of help that they get. So Umar radiallahu anhu gave him the physical need, fulfill his physical need, moral need. It's not only that he throws some money to him and go, or ask he could have done so. Asks one of his followers, servants, anybody that can go and help him, so I can see something better than this or bigger than this. No. Umar would go to his wife, his Khalifa, yes, but he's in need for reward. When we volunteer as Muslims, we are looking for reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We do it. Before we do it for the sake of the society and the sake of the world, we do it for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal as part of our faith. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين الآثمين، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله رب العالمين، وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمد عبده ورسوله الأمين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the best of teachers, no question. Even before he becomes a prophet. Look at the testimony of his wife, Sayyidah Khadija, to him. When he first received the wahi, he was kind of afraid, not knowing what is that. Then she said, nothing wrong is going to happen to you. Why? And we all know. Because you are a good person. Why a good person? Because I'm your wife and I like to say that? No, because you have qualification. That's even before he becomes a prophet. إِنَّكَ لَتَحْمِلُ الْكَلَّ وَتُعِينُ تُكْسِبُ الْمَعْدُومَ. You help those who are in need, those who are weak and cannot do things, you do it for them. That's his qualification, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he said also to know that he was part of his society. He said after becoming a prophet and later in Medina, لَقَدْ شَهِدْتُ, I have witnessed and Allah hilfan in the house of that person back when I was young in Mecca with my uncles. I witnessed an ally of leaders, representatives of different tribes. They came together. What is the ally? Is if anybody is to be wrong, we will all stand together against the one who is doing wrong. If anybody is in need he got a debt and he has to pay it and he is not able to pay it, we have to come all of us together to do it. And now Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is recognizing this. And he said, لَقَدْ شَهِدْتُ, I have witnessed this ally, مَا أَوَدُّ أَنَّ لِي بِهِ حُمُرَ النَّعْمِ. And I don't like that I will get the best of fortunes or trades in terms of great camels to break it. Even after Islam, goodness is still goodness. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is appreciating that and giving credit to those people who were there. And more importantly, he was part of, there was not just playing somewhere else. No, he attends allies. We have to make, relationship with other communities rather than being divided. We are a relatively small community, growing, but let's speak frankly in here, and I will keep repeating that. We are small enough not to get even smaller. Get something here on the side, get another group there, get a third group here. Let's come to the masjid, the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is there to accommodate all. That was accommodating the community of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Dividing the talents, expertise, and funds as well, finances, will end up with a result that's much less. Think about it, much less than what we can do together. Overlapping is here and there. I've seen that with all good intentions. And that's not to judge that we don't have volunteers. No, we do have volunteers. Giving money is volunteering your money. And we have a lot. This masjid, how did it come to existence? As well as majority of the masajid in the United States, it's all by volunteers who come together. Conferences, what have you, all the effort, most of the effort that's happening, it's mainly because of volunteers. Even those who are working full-time like myself, it is just an outcome of some volunteers, right? So we need to appreciate that. We need to get together and we need to put part of our time, effort, expertise, money towards our community. We are no less than the bigger community out there. If 1/4 of Americans, our fellow Americans, are dedicating time for volunteering, then we should do that. Do you think that really 1/4 of our community is doing that? I don't know, I don't have the answer, but I'm shooting that inshallah maybe half of our community or all of our community would volunteer. We need to come together and see what we can do inshallah, because we have a lot of things to do for our facility. As far as the facility itself, many things could be done. For activities, many activities could be done, and we are shooting for that inshallah. So every effort, idea, thought, penny is needed from youth, from elders, from women. Yes, and I forgot to say, according to the Bureau of Labor, women surpassed men in volunteering. Slightly surpassed them, but I have to say because that's the statistic anyway. So men were like 32%, women were 34%, if I'm not wrong. So that is something, I'm just saying that for competition and for giving credit for, and also in Muslim communities, to be honest, women are sometimes, or many times actually, are doing more than men. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, Shakirun Alim, I could be wrong, but let's inshallah come together to do something inshallah. Let's not forget unity, ayyuhal ahbab. Let's not just, yes, I like to volunteer, I do it my way. No, come together. Let's get together. We can't find some people to run for the job of the board just some time back, and I said it 2 consecutive Fridays, and still only 2 people or 2 forms have been turned. That gives us a message. It has been said to you, it's open. Come forward and do something. Volunteer your time. So every effort is needed, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep blessing us and keep using us for the best of this community, and for the best of the bigger community, and for the best of the entire world. Allahumma ameen. Allahumma taqabbal minna innaka anta as-sami'ul 'alim wa tub 'alayna innaka anta at-tawwabur rahim. Allahumma wajjihna li kulli khairin wa thabbitna 'alayhi wa a'inna 'alayhi ya rabbal 'alamin. Allahumma wahhid sufufana wa wahhid juhudana wa wahhid al-muslimin wa wahhid kalimatahum. Oh Allah, unite us and unite our word, and unite our decision, and unite Muslims everywhere, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen. Get our hearts together, Ya Rabbal Alameen, to serve you and worship you the way you want us to do, the way of your Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Oh Allah, alleviate the pain from those who are suffering. Oh Allah, give those who are in need, all of us are in need, for your bounty and blessings. Oh Allah, give us all, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, hatta narda. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. And we don't forget to make dua for our brother Diyat, secretary. He has a surgery. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him shifa. And we also, Dr. Ayman is back. His father passed away back home in Egypt. We announced it last week. And